And now joining us with more on Zelensky's visit to the White House and the situation in Ukraine is Foreign Affairs Editor for Israel Hayom Daily News, Neta Bar. Hi, Neta.
Hello.
Neta, your wartime president left Ukraine for the first time since the Russian invasion. He's in Washington, where President Biden likened your nation to the Maccabees of Hanukkah fame. Is this an apt comparison?
I think there is a lot in that comparison. If you look at the both history and mythology around the Maccabee rebellion, there is in proportionate balance of power. You know, a relatively smaller country fighting a giant superpower. There's a really sort of miraculous last stand sort of feeling around. Yeah, I think this comparison is quite potent.
So many in Ukraine are suffering today from the bombing and from the cold after Russian forces destroyed so much infrastructure. Please describe what you're seeing and hearing there.
Well, when I was last there, it was like almost 3 weeks ago. The feeling was actually rather strong of defiance and resilience. People are finding a way to heat their homes. People are finding a way to get to food, get to clean water, and what I've been hearing all around is, well, if that's what it takes to stay free from Russian tyranny, then I'm ready to have this my entire life, live like that, even though it's very, very far from ideal. I've seen people connecting all sorts of generators, people huddling together with neighbors, people getting food from the countryside, really walking for hours to get basic needs. And they're doing it without this sort of bitterness that you see in in disastrous areas. See sort of resilience and sort of even sort of uplifted spirit to be able to sustain yourself during a national effort, which is something that we as Jews, as Israelis, can understand and can relate to. It's what I've been raised on. You know, stories from the '48 war, from Milchamtat Ha'atzmaut. It's things I know, that this sort of feeling is something that I recognize from Israel's past.
There does not appear to be an early end in sight for this war. How do you see this coming period, and how is the Jewish community coping?
I think the Jewish community is very much a part of the Ukrainian national sentiment, and they're finding ways to survive, to send those in need abroad to either work or be safe. But the general feeling among the Jewish community is we're part of it. We're in this together with the rest of Ukraine, and we'll get through it. On the front line, things are very, very complicated. It's not very clear right now which one of the sides will go first on the offensive. There's a very big chance of Ukrainian counteroffensive in the Zaporizhia area. There's a chance of there's been a lot of talking and a lot of warnings about a second attack on Kiev from the north, from Belarus's side. So this winter is going to be very active and very bloody, and the end is not near. It's not, as Churchill once said, it's not the beginning. It's not the beginning of the end. It's maybe the end of the beginning.
A new government is about to be sworn in Jerusalem. Are you expecting that Netanyahu will provide the requested air defense systems and other assistance Ukraine is asking for?
I think Netanyahu will be more confident to do so than the previous government. And I think there's a lot of Israeli citizens, some of them are Netanyahu's voters and are part of his base, that will support such a move. I hope to see at least some degree of change in the Israeli policy towards Ukraine. I'm not very optimistic because Netanyahu in the past showed that he's very proud of his close relations with President Vladimir Putin. But that may change as well. I know that Putin called him yesterday to congratulate him for forming a government, and we'll need to see how this will play out.
Neta Bar, thank you so much for joining us.
It was my pleasure.